Hi guys, so today I'll be teaching you how to do a mesh stitch and how to decrease a mesh stitch. So yeah, let's lock in and get into this tutorial. So for this section, you're going to match evens to evens and odds to odds. I really want you guys to understand this part for the mesh stitch. You cannot put evens into odds and odds into evens, okay? So I chained 45 for example. So I was able to leave 3 spaces in between each like mesh stitch, and it evened out perfectly. So that's my like little advice for when you're doing this section, because I saw a few comments they were saying, oh, my mesh stitches didn't add up. I did 3 2. You need to make sure that if you're doing threes, it has to be odds as well. And if you're doing, like, for example, 2 or 4s, it needs to be evens. This is like really important when it comes to doing measurements. Okay, moving on. This is just me counting my stitches, and I am doing odds. So I did 45 and I'm going to be doing 3 stitches for the mesh. Okay, so when you are finished your desired chain length and you reached your measurements, odds, or even, we are going to chain up 1, and then we're going to create a half double crochet in the first stitch. So it would be not the one that you chained up, the additional, it would be the one after. And after we put our first half double crochet in, we are going to, depending, I am going to chain 3, and then I'm going to skip 3 stitches and then insert it into the third stitch. So I only skipping basically the 2, but I'm putting it into the third so it matches up. And once you get like a good motion going, it won't be as difficult to follow. But yeah, basically you chain up 1 after you did your chains. You half double crochet into the first stitch, then you place the amount of stitches, insert a half double crochet after you leave out like the appropriate stitches, and then you chain up again, and then you do it all the way to the end. And now that we're finished the first row, we're gonna go ahead and pick the side that we would want the decrease slash slant to be. So this is basically the tricky part. So some people thought I decreased every other row. I'm not decreasing every other row, I'm decreasing every single row. So after you finish your non-decreasing side, I'm gonna label them like non-decreasing side and decreasing side. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that one more time. I'm going to decrease in the first 2 stitches, so the top hole and then the mesh stitch itself. I'll be placing a decrease. And then when I work my way down to the non-decreasing side, I'm going to just chain up 2. No decrease, just chain up 2. And then work my way back down to the decreasing side. And before I finish that row off, I'm going to decrease in the last 2 stitches, chain up 2, and then turn my work and then decrease again in the first 2, and then work my way down to the non-decreasing side. So now I am going to show you exactly how I made the entire section, because I don't think I'm going to clip this out. I'm going to just leave the entire process in. And yeah, you're basically decreasing and decreasing until you get one stitch, until you have basically one stitch left. I wouldn't call this a midpoint check-in, more like a quarter, but yeah, check-in. So this is how it's looking. So you can definitely see the slants starting to form. Okay, so I know you see that we almost done. Okay, so I'll check back in when there's like 2 more stitches left. And we are done. Well, you can also add a border to it, like around the perimeter. Or me personally, I would jazz it up by adding like flowers or like gems or just like a little bit of something, to give it like a pop of color. I don't know. But you could leave it as is too, and it just as beautiful, in my opinion. But yeah, you can also make the holes bigger, make them uneven, have them look more like rugged. You could definitely play around with this tutorial. You don't have to just do the basic holes. You could definitely you know, definitely customize it and make it your original thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was really short and simple, and I wanted you guys to follow along the full journey and not really skip stuff out, because it really is just what it is. Like, you're just decreasing one side every single row. And I guess if you have like a longer chain to start with, you would have to add more decreases. But like I said, this is just like the base of the tutorial. You really could just customize it and just play with it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thanks for watching. Bye.